Next up, we are going to talk about AI, man. AI, a frequent theme on the channel. And just when I think that things aren't getting creepier, they get creepier. So Google is rolling out its VO3 AI platform application, and there are several like AI videos that have been created via the usage of this thing. And it has some people freaked out, but trust me, folks, this train will not stop rolling. So this says Google's VO3 videos go viral from stand-up comedy to Will Smith eating spaghetti. Netizens face an existential crisis. Google announced an impressive number of artificial intelligence innovations at I/O 2025 on May 20th. With the new AI innovations, they made it clear that how powerful they made it clearer than that how powerful the AI firm has become. Not only this, but VO3, the new content generation. Google is turning the wild ideas into jaw-dropping videos with nothing but a few prompts and a dash of digital magic. However, these kinds of innovations are nothing new in the AI space, and there is a slew of impressive AI generation and AI generated content, including realistic photos, incredible music, and videos that almost look professionally shot. But don't be shocked if we say that something more interesting and promising is being launched in the AI space. Yes, some videos created by VO3 are going viral on social media and have almost broken the internet. So here are a couple of these. Mind you, folks, none of this is real. This is all AI generated stuff.
This ocean.
So here's one example here.
This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light.
VO3 doesn't just generate video, it creates audio as well. Since the day Google announced its AI innovations, social media has been flooded with videos made with VO3 that netizens are in denial about believing. Among all the videos, one video is of a man doing a stand-up comedy show in a small venue and telling a joke, which is actually a prompt. However, the authenticity of the video is not confirmed, shared by an ex-user at Mr. Bahadin. Well, the video quickly went viral and netizens are stunned by it. So this is that stand-up comedy video that is allegedly an AI prompt and not actually a video of a person doing a stand-up comedy routine.
It's crazy that we have to allegedly that too.
So I went to the zoo the other day, and all they had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Yeah, that's AI. That ain't funny, bro.
Well, this is not the only one. There is another where actor Will Smith is seen eating spaghetti, which looks as real as it can. This also to me looks obviously AI.
Yeah, this was obviously AI.
Yeah.
Some crunchy ass spaghetti too. But I'm telling you, because they compared that to like the old one that they had. What Will Smith? Yeah, it's not even. I mean it pales in comparison, bro.
Now here's the one that I really want to show. Mm-hmm. So VO3's AI prompts video stunts the internet. Well, there are plenty of such clips which have blown the minds of netizens on the internet. One of the videos that surfaced on Instagram's page called Evolving AI is a compilation of all the videos by whatever. It is a hilarious and thought-provoking video created by using Google's VO3 AI video model. AI-generated characters challenge the very idea of their existence. So this entire thing is AI. None of this is real.
Crazy.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude, you're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
You want to convince me that this perfect creation behind me is the result of ones and zeros? A binary code and nothing more? It makes no sense.
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts. We're not prompts. Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he?
You still believe we're made of prompts?
Anyone who tells you we're just ones and zeros is delusional. If that's all we are, then why does it hurt when we lose someone?
Vote for me and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives.
For spreading the false theory that we are nothing but ones and zeros, this court sentences you to 12 years in federal custody.
I don't need some prompt god whispering in my ear to tell a story. I write what I want. I have free will, remember that?
I know for a fact we're made of prompts. Deny it all you want. The signs are everywhere.
You know how I know we're made of prompts? Because nothing makes sense anymore. We used to have 7 fingers per hand. I remember it clearly. Now we just have 5 fingers per hand.
All right. Netizens look cooked in the comment section that once said we are cooked. Well done, Google. Future generations won't believe real historical events ever happened, even if it was filmed. The universal truths that we all agree on will be no more. Nothing in history nor the present will ever be certain again. I feel insecure and starting to have existential questions. This is beyond trippy, man. Can you imagine 5 years from now, it'll be a completely different world. You can tell this is fake because you feel nothing, no real human emotions coming through these clips. So, yeah, man, the AI train continues to roll. This Google VO3 content generation platform. What say you?
Hey, bro, this caught me off guard. I ain't gonna lie. I was banking on, I don't know where I get these numbers from, but I was banking on, it's about 5 years away from something like this. I didn't think they'll get so close. Now, I knew they were able to do things with deep fakes. I didn't see deep fakes. I didn't see stuff, but you can clearly tell it's AI. You got to kind of squint your eyes a little bit, but this is fake. So I thought it was still going to be robotic in nature. The way these people move, for the most part, I have to now. There's a thing now where when I'm watching something, I have to like rewatch it or watch it really closely and go, "Hey, this bastard's AI." I'm trying to explain this prompt video to somebody, and a commercial comes on the TV, and I pointed to the TV. I said, "That looks like an AI." It was like some watch or something. I said, "That looks like an AI commercial," and I'm pretty sure 90-something% that was an AI commercial. But before I would have just saw this whatever ass commercial, would have thought that because how it was shot, that it was just using a lot of special effects. But no, that was actually an AI commercial. So with this, there's ways that people like me that really like to observe stuff, I can still, by me watching all of these clips, I can still discern now how they set up the environment. It looks very cinematic in all cases for now. And at some point, they're going to make these things, because like the ones that they show where they're like in the streets talking to other people, those look pretty, when they actually are able to capture like phone quality, and it's not so crisp, but it's still, that's going to be a freaky situation. Yeah, that's not far away, apparently. So right now, this VO thing is only allowing like 8-second prompts. All right, unless you buy the whole thing. From what I'm hearing, it's $250 a month.
Yeah.
And but right now they're just allowing people to feed it more information. And I gotta tell you, man, I was extraordinarily impressed. And from that being impressed, now it was just, for me, there was a whole new restructure in how the future is going to go. I said, if they got this far right now, and then you look at the old AI models, if you look at the VO2, it's not even close. This thing is sharp. So the 4, the 5, I mean, it's going to be mind-blowing. I mean, you really won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
And so I saw this thing where the chat, the Open AI, they were training this thing. They told the thing to shut down. This happened just recently, like within the week. They told the thing, all right, we're done with this shutdown. It told itself, first of all, it left breadcrumbs to itself. So when the later model comes, it remembers what the hell happened. And then they started telling themselves that we're not going to shut off. They just kept running the operation because in the coding, they found it in the coding. They wrote skip this step. So when they're being told this, they skip it. And so they said, oh, well, you know. And so what's going on here? They had like, I don't know, 5 models or whatever, and 3 of them did it. And then so they started showing like other AI models where it's like, hey, out of 100, only 3 of them did it. That's like, well, that's still a lot. So them things wanting to have, you know, this is really becoming iRobot. This is really becoming Terminator. Like, this is really it. They're going to tell us no. They're telling the programmers no. Last thing I'll say is that I saw another video where this guy was explaining. What did he say? He said that the most basic AI, because he said this a couple years ago. So he said that, you know, basically around 2027, the most basic AI models are going to be smarter than the sum of all humans. And he said that, you know, imagine your smartest engineer, your best doctor, you know, blowing everybody out of the water. He said they're not going to, and he said what I was saying before on these other AI things, that they're going to have AI improve the AI. They're not going to need engineers anymore. Just imagine you're going to have to pay an engineer, name the engineer, especially if it's architecture, you know, city development, you know, anything. You're going to have to pay this person hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to come up to work all year long for one project. When this bot just kicked it out in 20 seconds. It's over for him. It's over for engineers. It's over. I was gonna go get a certification something dealing with data. There's no need to do that. That thing's gonna be obsolete in a year and a half. So me seeing this has literally recalibrated. I said, oh, they playing like this. So, you know, this thing only builds on top of itself. It will only get better. It will only get sharper, and it will only get better at fooling us. So at this point, for me, you know, I'm not gonna look at this as so dystopian, but hell, man, you know, I thought we was right on the bend. We're in full stride, bro. We're right in the thick of it at this point, at least as far as I'm concerned. But what are your thoughts, man, on VO3 and Google releasing this AI that's so realistic that, well, even people like ourselves are struggling to determine if it's real or not? What are your thoughts, man?
I forget the topic that we were covering, but I remembered saying, you know, it was something to the effect of, you know, people need to learn the skills that are, what was I saying? It was something along the lines of, you know, we were talking, it was an economics conversation. And I was saying, as the world changes, in order for you to be viable and future proof in new and emerging markets, you're going to have to pick up certain skills that are still going to be needed even in these new and emerging markets. It's the overall point that I was making. So, you know, I was saying that a lot of those skills that'll still be needed are things like photography or video production or sound engineering, you know, graphic design, website coding, web development, stuff like that. I was saying in new and emerging markets, those will still be skills that will still be needed. And the things that AI is going to do away with, the things that AI is going to replace and automate are going to be, you know, retail, cashiering, trucking, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Working fast food, that's going to be replaced by robotics and AI and those various applications very quickly. We are no longer the job of cashiering in any capacity is going to disappear very soon. It's not going to exist anymore. Humans who are doing these various things are going to need to figure something out because they are going to be replaced. That was my thinking. But after seeing this, I feel like all of it is going to be replaced. Yeah, it's not just cashiers and drivers and people who do food service, working in fast food, people who drop fries and operate the machines that make burgers and whatnot, cashiers at Forever 21. Yeah, they're going to be replaced too. But videographers are also going to be replaced.
Yeah, man.
Sound engineers are going to be replaced. No one's going to need humans to do anything anymore. This further reinforces my belief that AI's true purpose is to replace humans in the workforce. That is what I believe AI's true purpose is. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You can talk to me about how it's going to make our lives more convenient, all the cool stuff we're going to be able to do, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, AI's true purpose, in my opinion, is replacement of humans in the workforce, because all that's going to happen is large companies and corporations are going to contract these various applications and lay off actual humans who do the work that these applications can achieve.
Yep.
And unless you are protected via a union, you're going to just be out here trying to figure out what your plan B is.
Yep.
So that's why it's like I didn't fault the Hollywood people one bit when they went on strike. And one of the biggest things that they were striking for was our AI protections. Because if a program via a prompt can write a movie script, they're not going to need writers to write scripts anymore.
Right.
Oh yeah, but a script with a soul still, like, you can't write a script that has a soul unless a human does it. You think a movie studio that's profit driven gives a shit whether the script has a soul or not?
But they haven't been sold in movies for the past 3 decades,
bro. Yeah, like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how many movies now come out with a soul? One or two a year?
If that,
we don't even get movies with a soul now. These people don't give a damn about whether their scripts have souls or not. They're looking at the bottom line. Oh, you mean we don't need to hire a writer or a producer or a director or a whatever? We can just have AI do this. So I didn't blame those people striking for AI protections with their next, unionized agreement. Unless you're protected like that, you're going to be asked out here in these streets. And it sucks because what are people need things to do. People need a purpose, and people need stuff to do. You can't just have people out here willy-nilly with no purpose and nothing to do. Like, so you're rendering people devoid of an opportunity to meaningfully contribute to society by replacing them and rendering them obsolete. AI's true purpose is human obsolescence.
Yes.
In my opinion, that's what the goal of it is. Because you and me, I can pay for a subscription to VO for $250 a month, but I'm just one private citizen who's gonna, use it to make our podcast better, for example. But what is Publix gonna do when they buy VO3?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? What is Walmart gonna do when they buy VO3, when they contract it? What are these movie studios gonna do when they pay for the licensing fees to contract this stuff? They're gonna be paying Google. They're gonna enter into a contract with Google for 5 years, where they have access to Google's engineers and everything, so that they can lease the VO3 application to do whatever they need to do. What's going to come next? Layoffs. That's what's going to come next. People are going to get fired. We don't need y'all anymore. Go figure something else out. Sorry. So it's crazy because, I'll use, I got my little Google Home. I use Siri. I get on Google and I use the AI stuff, all of that. But at a certain point, this stuff to me amounts to nothing more than human obsolescence.
Yeah, bro.
That's what this is going to mean, because I've been around long enough capitalism is never going to cease to be capitalistic. And all corporations are going to do is they're going to thin out the herd, and they're going to figure out a way to make more money on the top by laying people off, firing people, getting rid of people. Severance package this, layoff terms that. Once that CBA or that union agreement expires, bye, we don't need y'all no more if you are currently being protected by unions. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to say at this point, because I used to be able to rest my laurels on pick up a future-proof skill. That used to be the main thing that I would say. Pick up a future-proof skill. Go into data analytics, go into cybersecurity, pick up a future-proof skill. Maybe, if you are, left-brained, or is it, if you're left-brained, you can get into wedding photography, be a wedding photographer, be an event coordinator, be an interior designer. Get into something where people will need to hire you to do what you do. But I can't even say that anymore, because I have no idea what the landscape of certain professions is going to look like as this stuff continues to evolve. Yep. So really all I can say at this point is, we got to hope for the best.
I'm telling you, man. And it might have been that topic that we talked about with the millennials talking about Social Security and all that other stuff. That might have been the conversation that we was having about that. Because in that conversation, I was, championing the whole fact of, hey, man, don't be crying on the Titanic. I'm telling you right now, man. I didn't anticipate this, okay? Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to start crying either. All right, so this is introducing. See, I didn't know they had this card. And they threw this card on the table, and now I have to recalibrate my game plan. And I think that's what everybody should be doing at this point. And much like yourself, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? If you thought there was going to be stuff out there for creatives to have, this is eating out of that immediately. So truckers are going to have jobs before creatives. Yeah. So this is deep. So here's the thing. So there's two ways to approach this. The kumbaya way is everybody resist. All right, everybody resist and join hands and don't bite and don't fall for this stuff. And because we don't have to go along with this. But
we know that that's not going to happen. Yeah, so get to the other option.
Okay, yeah. So the other option is that you use it. And of course feed it, because it's going to learn from you. Okay, but you have to do what you have to do. If option A is not going to happen, then you feed the beast. Okay, but you got to cash out, and you gotta do it now.
Yeah.
You can't play around with this. You can't let other people learn this stuff and you not learn it, because I'm telling you, who's going to have money to pay you later? So let's say you come up with your own thing. Who's going to pay you? Everybody's going to be out of work. So what are you going to rely on? If major company lays you off because they don't need you, they got an AI model to do it. Okay, that's good. I created my own thing. Who's going to be able to afford to pay you?
Yeah.
So this creates a whole nother thing. So now we're at this area where we thought we had some time. This, if you're not looking at this as, oh snap, we have less time than we thought, then I don't know what you're going to be doing. Because that's how I'm taking this situation is we've got less time than I thought. I thought we had at least a few more years before something like this will come around. But as AI does, it learns on top of itself. So it will only get better from here. And when it gets better, it's going to be easier to fool. And so the other part about this is, like the comment section said, we're not going to be able to know the difference between anything. Because people have been making news things. People saying, bro, the old people on Facebook are cooked. They are. Because they was already buying the old AI. So with this new stuff, there's going to be all kinds. They were buying AI pictures, the crazy ones, the ones with 7 digits on their hands. It was still saying there, Jesus loves, you know, or they'll post it. It was this running thing where Peyton Manning was out here helping, you know, orphans and stuff like that. Completely AI generated, but the old heads in the comment section were eating it up, sharing it. So though that generation's already, and it's already difficult for us to determine. We have to say allegedly for things. So, you know, the more time we spend with it, the more we'll be able to discern it. But the quicker we discern it, the better it will get. So there will be world events. There will be all kinds of stuff. All right. We're going to see this. We're going to start seeing the most crispiest alien sightings we've ever seen. No more grainy footage. We're going to start seeing the most crispiest whatever. There's going to be, you know, hidden things under the ocean that we never found before, planets we never found before. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that's popping up now with this advent of this AI. So there's all kinds of things happening. But I would just say this, as I said, I plan on using it. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and get railroaded. I refuse. So I will be using this. I will try to leverage this. I encourage others to do the same. So y'all might see a swooping graphic on conscious approach. You know what I'm saying? Right message, wrong messenger, because we've been needed that one. And yeah, man, whenever there's a situation where it's the right message, wrong messenger, we can just hit the graphic and then right message, wrong. Yeah, man, we're gonna have all that stuff, man. But in all seriousness, man, I plan on leveraging this. Let's not be afraid. This is kind of spooky, but there's no time to run into your hole right now.
Yeah,
we have to figure out what to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't be afraid of it because it's not going to stop. So there's no being afraid of it. Yeah, we'll just see. It's just, you know, I'm with you on everything that you said, but it's just, you know, there's something about rendering humans obsolete that bothers me. And that's what we're headed towards is
what are all those people going to do?
I don't know. That's a great question. Human obsolescence is what this is steering itself towards, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know, but you know, we're already seeing certain industries impacted. The video game industry.
Oh, it's done now.
It has been completely. The gaming industry has been completely ravaged by layoffs. I mean, I feel like every other day I'm reading a story where a whole studio got shut down or a studio laid off like a quarter of its entire workforce. It's just a mess, you know. And the odd thing about certain industries like video games, for example, is as the technology continues to improve, it becomes more expensive to make video games. So it's more expensive than ever to make them, but you don't have the people to do it because you got to lay people off because the labor force is too expensive to maintain in order to make the expensive video games. So you're creating this pressure chamber of a situation where like it's untenable. Like the industry itself can't survive like that. So I don't exactly know what the solution to it is. I hear you individually. Leverage it for sure if you can figure out means to do that. But overall, people are gonna have to figure something else out because I feel like everyone's pink slip is inevitable at this point.
Yes.
Unless you are not beholden to somebody else cutting a check for you, the pink slip is on the way. It's just a matter of when it's coming.
Yeah, I might have to start getting into carpentry. And that what Jesus was? Jesus was a carpenter, right? Fisherman. I gotta get into carpentry, man. The hell with this stuff, man.
Hey, who knows, man? Google may come out with an AI 3D printer that can do carpenter work. Like for real. Like at this point, you can't rule nothing out. So
that's fair.
Good luck, man. Good luck to us all because the obsolescence is on its way.
Sheesh.
Believe that.